Hey, so I've got a session open of a song that I wrote and recorded about 2-ish years ago now called She's a Production, and this is for my solo project that I do with my own originals called Patrick Foord, if you want to look it up. So this song, I just wanted to make the most biggest, epicest rock opera thing, but I only wanted to use pianos and keyboards because that's an instrument that I play. Didn't want to do the whole guitar thing and just get a guitarist in. So I kind of challenged myself, could I do a big epic rock song only using an upright piano and a couple of MIDI organs or something? And here's the outcome. There you go, that's it. So I'm going to kind of just go through it bit by bit and break down what I did and how I did it. So first of all, let's do drums. So I've been playing drums basically my whole life. So drums to me has always been easy, but I've always just used the same setup pretty much since I've started, which is just close mic the drums, overheads, and a stereo room. And if I can't get the sound with that, then I can't drum that then, and I'll get another drummer. So here is the drums processed. So they're quite big and epic and roomy, obviously, because they need to fit in with this whole track. And by themselves, they sound like it's probably got way too much reverb, but once everything else is mixed in, that reverb just gets buried very, very quickly. So all I do to the drums is EQ and compress on one plugin on each channel. I very rarely do anything else but this. So for the kick, you know, 4:1 compression, sucking out the mids, putting a bit of bottom, tiny bit of tops. I take out the real tops because I find that sometimes, because you've got the kick so loud in the mix, that if there's some little cymbal spill or something, that normally kind of cuts that off. It's not necessary, but there's a lot of cymbals in this song, so it was in this circumstance, I think. And just a gate. It's really quick. I just want it to come in and out real fast, because I find that if the kick has like a long note to it through the actual close kick mic, that just takes up a lot of real estate. It's going to interfere with the bass. So if I want to get like a more extended bottom end, I do it through the room mics. So on the rooms, I have 30 hertz, like almost cranked full ball, and that's where I'm going to get the sustain from the kick, and it's going to be like a stereo sustain, as opposed to this one close mic, really in your face sustain. So if we listen to the rooms, see how you can get that real deep bottom end sustain just by cranking the real deep bottom end on the room mics. Probably anything over 40 and it starts getting messy with other things, I find. And then also I just scoop out a bit of the mids, and I take the top end off on the rooms because they're already pretty splashy because I'm smashing the cymbals pretty hard. So the biggest thing for rooms on this track is the reverb. So I have two reverbs going. I have a Lexicon 480L and a emulation of the EMT from the 80s, the digital ones. I use two because they kind of have different sounds. The EMT is a bit bitier and honkier in the mid-range, and then the 480 just sounds quite hi-fi as it does. And then just the two mixed together just makes it like into a mega room. So here's the room mics with the drum reverb. And now I'll leave the reverb on and take that bottom end in and out, so you can hear how that bottom end that we put in the room tracks gives that sustain that I think a lot of people are after. So hear how the room just becomes this like thunderous kick drum in this big deep room all of a sudden, and it's not from touching the reverb, but it's needs to come from the source, I think. And next we'll go down to the overheads. So again, just taking a little bit of the mids out, putting a bit of bottom end in again, because I want that sustain from all the drums, but not so much from the individual mics. So this, putting it on the overheads just sort of gives it a bit of stereo meat, if you will. The toms, nothing weird, just sucking out the mids. I'll play a bit with the toms. There's not much toms in this song. That's them dry without EQ, and here's with the EQ. So I've just made them real tops and bottom smiley face basically, and I've taken off the real tops off this as well, just again because it's heaps of cymbals, and just 2:1 compression, fast release, nothing weird there, and they're going to that same reverb but not as much as the room. Snare bottom, I don't even know why I had this in, it's barely there. Again, just smiley facing it a bit. Snare room, this is a sample from the Chris Lord Stephen Slate package that I've just already rendered. And all I'm doing there is adding a bit of tops, taking away a bit of the, adding some bottom and taking away some tops with the slightest bit of compression, and it is also going to the same reverb as everything else, but not as much as the room mics. So my reverb's just giving it a little bit more length. And then the snare top. Just again, tops and bottom, smiley facing it, tiniest bit of compression, 1.2, not much. It's important to note too that I get a lot of the compression, I guess you will call it, from the preamps, because if you get these preamps at this good stage, they sort of just mush the transients but not compress it. They still happen, but they're just rounded off in a nice way. So let's hear the whole drum kit again now, but with everything in. I'll go to the chorus because that's when the room mics are up. You know, so pretty much this is all real drums apart from that one snare sample. So I'll put the snare sample in and in so you can hear in and out, so you can hear how much I'm using. It's not very much, it's just sort of there just to help it. I mean, you don't hear it as much here, but when everything else is going, it does sort of just add just that little bit extra reinforcement. And I've also got a drum parallel, which is 2:1 compression, fastest recovery. I'll put that on. Again, it's not my drum sound, it's not the whole thing, it's just there to just hold the drums forward in the mix once everything else is there. And that's it, that's the drums done. Real simple, real quick. Here is the bass, which is a keyboard bass. I've got the Ampeg bass amp simulator on it because it adds this, it's almost like it adds this like extra octave down somehow, I don't know, it's like a different bottom end than just an EQ, and a little bit of EQ, just a bit of tops, and I've taken the real tops off again, and 1176, just keeping it there. And then mixed in with this is a stereo bass synth. It's playing the exact same part, and it just has all the tops taken off down to 3K and all the bottom taken off up to 200, because I just want the mid-range for this synth. I don't want any of the bottom end because the bottom end's already there from the actual bass tracks. I don't need another bottom end multiplied with another bass doing the same thing. And this bass synth is also sent to my H3000, which I can talk about a bit later. I've just got it on 4% wide micro pitch shift. So this sort of widens this bass too, so you can hear this. And then this without the H3000. So it makes it really wide and kind of almost spacey. But now when I add in just the normal bass with that, so now they kind of work together a bit better and just sit perfectly, and neither one disappears out of that sonic space. And then also I do have a bass piano track, which is its own stereo track, just doing that same thing but with the piano bass. This has a bunch of top end, but I've taken the real top end off, taken a little bit of the mids out, and I've actually taken off the bottom end to about 90 there, because I don't want 100 things all with bottom end. You need to sort of find your main bottom end culprit in the mix, and everything else should sort of steer clear from that. Otherwise you're just going to get bottom end build up everywhere. So then that bass piano mixed in with that synth and the bass. Sort of makes this ultimate weird theatrical big bass. And then we have an organ. Kind of like a church organ thing. All I've done to that is taken out a bit of that gross 300 that's on everything, and again the bottom end off at 100 because I don't want another bottom end thing there. I've also got another track below that which is just like organ slides. These things are just like little excitement adders to the song. You know, they're little subconscious pokes to make you think and know something's coming. Let's move down to the pianos. So on this track, again, because I wanted to make it epic, I've got 15 stereo piano tracks. So yeah, I went kind of over the top, but I'm like, why not? People do it with guitar, and there's millions of tracks with the guitar, and I'm like, I want to do that but on the piano, and so I did. So I've already got that bass piano, and then I've got my, what I'd like to call my rhythm part piano, I guess. So that's just a stereo mic'd piano. Got a bit of top end on that, taken out the bottom and a bit of the gross mids. I really like the LA3A on piano at that at this setting where the frequency selector is about halfway on piano, because it kind of lets a bit more of the bottom through and then just takes off a bit of the tops, because that's the thing that's poking out on a piano, right? It's the top end. And so that's it for the piano. It's just an EQ and a compressor. And the compressor's only just getting like 1 or 2. But I find if you don't take those little edges off, that they just end up later on in the mix interfering with vocals and drums, because it's top end little spikes that are getting in the way and they'll mask your vocals. So just by just trimming them all off here, I've got pretty much the exact same setting on all the pianos, just doing the same thing. Bit of tops, taking off the bottom and the mid. It's all the same mics, all the same piano. Instead of playing all the tracks individually, I'll just play all the piano tracks as one big thing, and you can hear the piano orchestra that I've created. So yeah, that's it. I don't know how I got it to work, but I did. There's this one Chris Lord effects plugin which I use, and it's on automation to just come on at the point in the song where I want to use it, and it's in the breakdown, which is here. So it's just making it sound like it's on a telephone or something. It's nothing special or breaking any new grounds. And so all that's left now is the vocals. So I've got a fair, not too many vocals, but a decent amount. For the vocals, all I use is a SSL channel and a 1176, the black one I like. I don't really like the blue one. It has, I don't know whether it's the plug-in version, but it has this annoying top end that doesn't seem to work for me. I don't know. Anyway, I like this one. Sounds good. So I'll play you a bit of the vocals. I'll play you the chorus.
She wants you there to see the show. She wants to make you cry. Your life will never be the same, 'cause she puts on the best show of her life.
So let's play them just completely dry now. So I record with a dynamic mic into the console, and again I drive the vocals a little bit, so it's almost like it compresses them without compressing it, but it's in a bit more pleasing way. And it does add, these pre's, when you start distorting them, they add this sort of cool top end sizzle, and you can kind of hear it.
She's not the one. She wants you there to see the show. She wants to make you cry.
And then if I put the EQ on, which I'm just taking off the bottom end, some of the real top end, and just EQing it a little bit more at the bottom end, because I'm adding so much compression later that all that bottom end just gets so in your face.
She's not the one. She wants you there to see the show. She wants to make you cry. Your life will never be the same.
And then, so yeah, I'm smashing it. But it sounds cool in the mix like that, because you need the vocal to just really smash you in the face when you've got 15 piano tracks and a big rock drum kit and 3 basses and whatnot. So yeah, you need them there. It sounds ridiculous by itself, but in the mix it just sounds kind of right. And then I've got a vocal reverb, a H3000 send, which is like the chorus stereo thing, a delay, and a slap delay. And the delay is actually going to 2 delays. It's going to a quarter note delay and I think a half one. So, but I'll play the effects one by one.
She's not the one. She wants you there to see the show. She wants to make you cry. Your life will never be the same, 'cause she puts on the best show of her life.
And all the vocals have very similar amounts of those effects. I don't need to go through them all. There's some ooze here.
She's not the one. She wants you there to see the show. She wants to make you cry. Your life will never be the same, 'cause she puts on the best show of her life.
So yeah, it's pretty aggressive, and this song's quite an angry sort of over-the-top theatrical song, so the effects need to be as big, over-the-top and theatrical to make it work like that. So the effects I've got are the 480L again on the vocals, which is I've got it on the plate setting, 2.5 seconds. I have the pre-delay turned off on this, and I use a just a whatever delay, it doesn't even matter. It's just a clean delay that is just always delayed, no feedback, no nothing, 100% wet. And I usually put it to a 16th note. So then the vocal reverb becomes like a 16th reverb slap. And the reason being is that if your pre-delay isn't long enough, you just won't hear the reverb. You'll just hear the vocals having reverb, and you know those mixes, and you hear the reverb, and it's just like, oh wow, I can really hear that dimension and space from the reverb. That's what this does. So if I turn this pre-delay on and off, you'll really hear how much it opens up your sort of sonic stage.
She wants you there to see the show. She wants to make you cry. Your life will never be the same. She puts on the best show of her life.
So it sort of makes it, or to me in this room, for me, it makes it go from like this to that. It like opens it out more because now the reverb isn't masked by the vocal itself. So you need a specific amount of time, and I usually find that 16th note of the song is good, and also it helps your song groove a bit more because now your effects, even your reverb, is now in time and grooving with your song. It's almost like you're playing your song in this perfectly sized room for your song. That's sort of the idea of it. Next down we have a slap delay, which is just a full-on dry, one single note slap, taking a tiny bit of the top end off it. H3000, I'm just doing 4% down and 4% up. My delays are just a normal delay, but I do offset them by 10 milliseconds or so each one. So see how my quarter note delay on the left side is 350, but my one on the right side is 360. So 10 milliseconds is like a good little timer. It doesn't throw off your delay from the song, but it's enough to throw our ears off to make you go, oh, there's something happening there, and it makes your ears want to pick up what's sort of happening there. And then below that is just another delay, same thing, but it's just way longer, and I've got it mixed way lower. It's just sort of adding more dimension and delay mess in the chorus. The only other cool stuff I've done in this song, I would say, is during the intro, it's almost like, I don't know, I imagined like a ghost coming across the piano and scraping the strings and then lifting the lid and playing the song, and then it starts weird, I don't know. So So yeah, at the start I've got this scary noise thing. And I've done some panning within the track with automation. You can see I've done it back like that. Just sort of made it come around like this. And then I've also got a just reverse piano, which I would have just played the note, held it as long as I could, brought it into Pro Tools, flipped it, and that's the reversed. And then I've got this, me sort of scraping the strings, and then I've also got that lid smash opening thing. I can't remember how I did it, but I definitely didn't do that how you would imagine. It's almost like a Foley thing, like you have to do something completely different to get the sound that you actually want to hear. Quite weird. Anyway, and that's about all I can show you, really. I've got it summing through the console. Just every fade is at 0. I'm hitting my console pretty hard on the output, so it's giving it a little bit more of that sort of mushing the top end. And then that's running into the Pure 2 interface and recording over there, as you can see. That's it. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Cheers.